You're gonna be in jail and this is not America, blah, blah. He's like,
you're gonna go to jail in Mexico. We're gonna put you in jail.
I'm Shanna.
And I'm Gabby.
And we are 27 Travels. So if you've never seen a video of ours before, we are a lesbian travel couple based in Brooklyn, New York. We basically travel around the world together, give you guys our LGBTQ travel tips, general travel trips, things like that. But today we're actually going to be doing a fun sit-down video for you guys.
So we've decided we would do a little video about all the crazy travel adventures we've had, things that have gone wrong, experiences we've had that were just like beyond insane that you couldn't even make up if you tried.
Weird, crazy, like...
Shanna and I are the kind of people that when that happens, we're like, screw it, this is happening, whatever, let's make the most of it. So yeah, but it happens to everyone while traveling, so it's just good to kind of share some of these experiences we've had.
We both made separate lists of our, of experiences that we remember, and then we kind of like combined them together. But we kind of realized that basically on almost every trip we've taken, like something crazy has happened. But yeah, so we're excited to share our weird, crazy travel stories with you guys, and hopefully you'll think that they're weird and crazy, and you'll get a laugh out of them, because in the moment we definitely were not laughing most of the time, but now we're laughing about it.
Yeah, now we're laughing about it for sure.
So we're gonna start with our Costa Rica trip. So the first was that we booked a tour from San Jose to go to the Arenal volcano, and we booked it through a really trusted tour website. The day of the tour, the tour comes to pick you up at your hotel. I guess halfway to the volcano, our tour bus got a flat tire and broke down. So, of course, we're in a foreign country, so me and Gabby are just, sitting on the bus, all right, well, I guess, there's nothing we can do to help.
We were sitting, on the side of the road, and all of us, on the bus, were, joking about it, oh, great.
And then they changed the spare tire, blah, blah, it took maybe about, an hour. Then we kept going, and then I remember, it happened again.
Yeah, their spare tire got a flat tire. So they spent all this time replacing the tire, and then they drove a little, and then the spare tire got a flat tire, and then we were basically stranded.
The tour bus driver was calling his friend, and his friend was coming to change the tire or whatever. But basically we did end up going to all the places we were supposed to go to, just not for the lengthy period of time that we were supposed to be there.
Yeah.
We still had a good time. It was just, maybe it's not the best situation to break down on the side of the road in a foreign country, but you know what? We lived. So after Costa Rica, in that same trip, we went to Panama for a few days. One day, we wanted to go from our hotel to this local park to go hiking. So after we were done hiking, we basically tried to walk back to the hotel because it wasn't really that far. It was less than a mile walk. But when we're from New York City and we see less than a mile walk, that for us is no problem. But a lot of times in other countries, it's on a highway, there's no one else walking, there's a bunch of cars driving and stuff. So it was not a walk that we could do, basically.
So it's kind of our own fault because we always think we can walk everything. And next thing you know, we're on a highway. We were cars were whizzing by
us. And there
us.
was no way to there was no crosswalk, there's no way to cross the street. Literally you're probably not supposed to be walking there. So me and Gabby were we're screwed. So luckily we saw a cab come, so we hailed the cab. We got in the car, and then we told him, we tried to tell him where we wanted to go, which was the name of our hotel, and I don't think he understood English very well, and we also don't speak Spanish very well, so it was very, very confusing. So basically what he did was the cab driver pulled over to this area where I guess maybe he knew people locally, and he was trying to tell someone on the side of the road to come over. We could tell them where we wanted to go, and maybe they could translate for the cab driver.
Yeah, so he just handed a random person in the street our phone. We were ah!
Yeah, we were this is he could just run off with our phone, blah, blah. But luckily they were a very nice person. They did help us tell the cab driver where we needed to go. So we ended up getting there safely, but it was just crazy because we definitely should not have been walking. All right, so next is in Cancun. So when Gabby and I went to Cancun, we did it a very local experience because we wanted to do it cheap. So we didn't stay in the hotel zone. We stayed in the downtown area. And we had a lot of fun. We loved it there. But one day we did want to go to the hotel zone area because we wanted to go to the beach. Took the bus to the hotel area. We were walking along the beach, whatever, and then we saw a bunch of hotels with pools, and obviously Cancun is very popular for spring break. A lot of Americans go there. So me and Gabby were do we think that they'll know if we just try and go into the hotel pool?
We're we don't think that they'll know. We sound American.
We sound American, we look American, maybe they'll just think we're part of the hotel. Actually, we don't recommend doing this.
Don't do this.
Actually ignore what Gabby just said.
If you were gonna do it, be confident about it, but don't do it.
So we go to this other hotel that was way bigger. We just like walk straight back to the pool. We get in the pool, having a good time, whatever. And then we get out and me and Gabby are like, we need a towel, but everyone from the hotel has like the same towel because they're like, you know, it's like all inclusive. They could probably have a towel for their room, blah, blah, blah. So me and Gabby don't have a towel. And then they had like security walking around. I think he noticed that like Gabby and I didn't have a towel.
It was kind of obvious.
And he like said something to us. He's like, are you staying in this hotel? And we were like, yeah, we're like, yeah. And then he's like, well, what room number are you in? And then we like said like a made up room number. And then I don't even think that really mattered. I think he just kind of knew at that point that we didn't say that hotel. So then he was like, you need to get out right now or I'm gonna call the Mexican police and you're gonna be in jail and this is not America, blah, blah. And me and Gabby were like, oh God. So then obviously we left.
We scattered very fast.
And
we were like,
we have
okay, sorry, bye.
And we have never sunk into a pool again. So I guess that should tell you a lesson. Don't do what we did.
Okay, but I am gonna be honest. Some travel mishaps are because of things that happen that you can't control, and other travel mishaps are because of things you do that you can control, but you don't realize it's a mistake until you're already doing it.
Or you realize it's a mistake, but you do it anyway.
Or you do it anyway.
So our next trip is Italy. And Italy was one of our favorite trips that we've ever been on, but so many crazy things happened in Italy. Basically only had one full day in Rome. So we start the morning early to go to the Spanish Steps because we had heard that like if you go there early in the morning, there's less people there, so it's like better to take photos and just like a better experience overall because otherwise it's like crazy there. So we go to the Spanish Steps like 5 in the morning. It's raining.
And we had seen on our like weather app, it was supposed to drizzle for like an hour from like 5 in the morning to like 6 in the morning, something like that. So we were like, this should not affect us. Like it's gonna be sunny the rest of the day.
Wrong. Well, then the next thing we were like, okay, well, I think the rain had stopped a little bit. So we're like, okay, let's go to the Trevi Fountain. So we go to the Trevi Fountain. It's not raining anymore. However, there is no water in the Trevi Fountain. Huh? Which we were like, this is really weird. So we had to research it, and apparently like occasionally they'll like drain the fountain of water to like clean it, which obviously makes sense. But of course, the fountain was not filled with water when the one day we had to explore Rome.
And we tried again. Let me tell you, we tried again. Anytime our feet landed in Rome, we went to the Trevi Fountain. It was still being cleaned. It was being cleaned for over a week. Shannon and I were like, I guess we have to come back. I mean, in the end, we kind of like chalked it up to like, well, you have to miss something when you're on a trip somewhere amazing so that you have an excuse to come back. Like we'll always say that. Like if it didn't work out, like we try not to get super down about it. We were like, well, this sucks, but I guess we have a reason to come back to Rome and we have something we want to do at the top of our list now.
Yeah. So our next stop in Italy after Rome was Naples. And this is one of my favorite crazy, weird travel stories that we have. We were staying at an Airbnb in Naples. So we get there. This Italian mom is there. She is being really nice when she's giving us like all these local tips and stuff. And like before she leaves, she's like, I just want you to lock the door and unlock the door for me because the door gets a little like funky. So I'm like, okay. So like I do it like a few times. So she's like, okay, you're good. So then me and Gabby leave, we go to like do whatever we're gonna do, then we come back. The key isn't working in the door to unlock it. So then I Airbnb messaged the guy and was like, hey, like I'm having trouble with the door. Do you mind if you can like come and like help me open it? And the guy was like, oh, I'm not around, but my mom is actually at our like family's house, which is right across the street. You can like knock on the door and just like tell her that you need help opening the door. So me and Gabby are like, okay. So in Naples, I don't know if you guys have ever been before, but it's very like family centric. Like all the windows are open, all the doors are open. There's families having dinner, they're chatting, they're like having fun. So like for us, we were like, oh God, we're gonna be walking in on like a family dinner affair. So we go knock on the door and the mom is there and she like comes to help us. But then there's also this Nonna who is like, I guess also related to the family who we went to the Airbnb from, and she's like watching the whole time.
We called her Nonna because we were like, she's like an older grandmother, like in her moo-moo, super nice, doesn't speak a lick of English, nothing.
Literally nothing.
Nothing, she just like is just staring at us and like gesturing at us, like, and we're like, we came back from exploring and then we were like, we're gonna go to dinner, and then we come back from dinner.
And then we come back and of course, can we open the door? No.
Nope.
But look who is waiting across the street for us. It's Nonna. She's looking at her door. She sees us struggling with the door, and now Nonna comes out and she's doing her little key thing, and she opens the door for us. And me and Gabby are like, oh my God, this is the cutest thing ever. Also, like, thank you so much, because we were struggling, we couldn't do it, but she doesn't understand English, so she doesn't know what we're saying. We don't know what she's saying, but she helped us out.
Yes, and she does it with like one push. We were like, she's really strong for an old lady.
So then the next day, we go out, you know, exploring, seeing what Naples is all about. We come back, can't open the door again, of course.
Out.
But who is waiting for us? Nonna. She's waiting. She helps us open the door. So now it's like, I don't even try to open the door anymore. I'm like, I want Nonna to open the door for me.
Where's Nonna so she can open the door, because we can't get into our own Airbnb. Every time we leave, we can't get back in.
So basically, every time from then on in, Nonna helped us open the door. It was amazing. And then when we left, we actually texted our friend Yvonne, who lives in Italy, and we were like, we want to write Nonna a letter that says, like, you know, thank you so much for always helping us, blah, 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 but we want to write in Italian. So Yvonne, thank you so much. He told us how to write in Italian. So before we left, it was like 7 in the morning, we like knocked on her window. Of course, Nonna's always awake. She's awake at 7 in the morning, she's awake at midnight, she doesn't sleep. So at 7 a.m. when we were leaving to go to our next like part of Italy, we handed her the note that said, grazie mille, which is like, thank you very much. I'm totally like not pronouncing it right, but I hope that she read it. Next trip is the Philippines. The second island we visited in the Philippines was Bohol, and there it's like recommended that you rent a motorbike to explore the island. I had never rode a motorbike before or driven one. So in Bohol, we go to this place, we go rent a motorbike. The guy is like, can kind of tell that I don't know what I'm doing, but I think he just like rented it to me anyway.
He's like, whatever, I'll take your money, okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was really cheap to rent this bike.
It was like $7 for the whole day, like so cheap.
And he's basically like, don't scratch it up, don't mess it up, okay? And we're like, of course, we have this.
One of the roads was like uphill, but then there was like this family's house like on the top of this hill, and they were all outside. But I believe their job is drying rice, because there is this whole thing of rice out on the floor. So
yeah,
also I'm going up
everywhere.
the hill. So I'm trying to go up the hill, but also avoid this rice, and also avoid this family, and also avoid this dog. Not a good situation if you just learned how to ride a motorbike yesterday.
It was like a game of Frogger. Things were coming from every direction, and Shanna was like, I'm giving it speed, and I was like, don't give it speed.
I went up the hill, I did not make it. The motorbike like tipped over into their rice.
We went flying, basically, into their rice.
I didn't hit anyone in the family, luckily, but I did crash into a field of drying rice.
It was literally like a disaster. We were like covered in rice.
I had like a huge cut on my knee, and then I'm like, oh my God, this bike,
You ran over my foot.
Yeah, and then I'm like, oh my God, this guy with the bike, he's gonna hate us, blah, blah. But for some reason, there was no scratches on the bike when we hit the rice.
We definitely scared them and like crashed into them, and then they were so nice, literally. They were like giving Shanna Vaseline for her knee. They were like talking to us. We were like, we're so sorry. And it was just like, the Philippines has the nicest people you will ever meet. That is like one thing we will say for the Philippines. It's like every person we met was like absolutely so kind and amazing, and this situation is no different. Everyone was trying to help us the whole time.
So our next trip, weird, crazy travel story is when we went to South Africa. So one of the things we were doing was going to this spa near Kruger National Park for a few days. And it's supposed to be like a luxury, like glamping, treehouse, like spa.
Basically, it's insanely beautiful. Like, it's the kind of place you like dream of going, and it's like just feels like you're like walking through tree houses, and it's like your cabin is like outdoor and indoor, and it's just like insanely beautiful. You're like bathtubs outside, crazy.
It's really, really nice, but there are some precautions I guess you're supposed to know about nighttime in a tent. So we have never been camping before. There was this like light in our room that's like a lantern-y kind of light that when we went to dinner, all of the people in our group had their lantern light with them, but me and Gabby did not. So we were like, hey, why'd you guys all bring your light? And they were like, yeah, to go back like to the tent because all the lights are off. And me and Gabby are like, we didn't turn off our lights.
Like, we didn't turn off any of our lights.
And they were like, well, if you go back, your whole tent's gonna be covered in bugs if you left the lights on. And me and Gabby are like, And let me just tell you, the bugs in Africa are not like any other bug you've ever seen before. It's not just like, oh, it's a fly. It's like, it's these crazy African bugs. Yeah. So we go back to the tent, and lo and behold, everyone is right. Our entire door is bugs. Like,
bugs.
It's not a door, it's just bugs.
It was like the apocalypse of bugs.
It was like the locust.
It was
from like the Bible.
Yes, it was. It was a plague. That's what it was. Shanna and I were like, holy shit. We were too afraid to literally open our door.
We like put the key in the door, then we turned the lights off from the outside and ran in and slammed the door shut.
Trying to get as little bugs in there as humanly possible. And then from the inside, you could shut off like all the lights, basically.
Yeah.
Like the outside lights, so we immediately are shutting off everything.
But unfortunately, a really, really, really big, ugly flying beetle got into our tent.
The kind with the pincers that bite you and then like...
So we obviously don't want to kill it. So we like trapped it in this like glass thing and just left it there overnight until someone who works at the hotel maybe could like pick it up. Because me and Gabby don't do bugs. We like don't like them. We don't like touching them, whatever. So we couldn't like pick it up and like let it out ourselves.
Yeah, and because we left all the lights on, the inside of our tent wasn't exactly bug-free. It's not what I would not call it bug-free. Like, there were bugs.
So we were trying to get them all out.
So we're like raiding the room.
So moral of the story is if you go camping, word of the wise, turn your lights off at night so you don't have bugs as your door. The most recent trip that we did was we went to Burlington, Vermont. And we were actually invited by the tourism board to go there for this event called the Ice Bar. They had emailed us before, like the day before we were gonna drive up there and said, hey, we're expecting some snow, just so you know. And we live in New York City. It snows here every so often. We're used to it. Like I've been driving like since high school. I got this, no problem. So we're leaving New York, it's raining, and then at some point when we get to upstate New York, it starts to turn to snow. So we get off the parkway and then we are on these like main roads, but like in a town kind of area, and those roads are not plowed at all. And maybe this is normal for some people, maybe it's normal in Canada, maybe it's normal elsewhere, but in New York, we're not used to unplowed roads.
And this situation starts getting dramatic really quickly. It escalated really quickly. Within like an hour of when we saw like our first snowflake, it was like people's cars were sliding off the road. There was people like on the shoulder of the road, like in like their car was like deep in snow. You could tell they had like crashed there. A truck, literally like a big truck, fell over on like the side of the road, and they had like blocked a whole street, and we had to like go around it, and everything was like, everyone was sliding. Shanna couldn't see like an inch in front of her car. It was so crazy. There would be like a car in front of us and we couldn't even see it.
Yeah, it was like the craziest conditions I've ever driven in. We start kind of getting freaked out because there's no other cars on the road, we can't see anything. So I'm like, Gabby, look on your phone and see if there's like any like small towns that we can like maybe pull over to in case we have to stay the night. So Gabby tries to look on her phone. Oh wait, there's no cell phone service in the middle of the Vermont woods.
So we're stuck.
We're thinking that we're in a horror movie now.
Literally.
And we're like, I don't know what's gonna happen. But basically I just was like, I just need to keep driving. Then eventually Gabby gets cell phone service, and lo and behold, the only town nearby is the town that we're going to anyway. So we're like, okay, we just need to power through. So we are being very, very careful. I was driving very, very slow. I was doing the best that I could. We did make it to Vermont safely, and like, it was just such a crazy experience. But yeah, I don't recommend driving in a blizzard.
No. Luckily for us, we finally got there after a lot of hiccups in the road, and we had a really good time.
Yeah.
And we were able to like explore the town a lot by foot, so we like basically parked our car and did not touch Hillary. Again, Hillary needed a nap. She needed a 2-day nap. So our last story is about the crazy things that have happened to us while we are in Curacao. So my family is actually from Curacao. A few different crazy things have happened over the years, and this is like our little list of those things.
The first crazy thing that happened is actually we were in Curacao. We were trying to go to a nearby island called Bonaire. So we book a flight that leaves Curacao at like 5 in the morning. We get to the airport, we go through customs, we're waiting for our flight, and the second we get upstairs, they say our flight is canceled. Now, on a small island, things like this are like really common.
Very common.
So we were not like we were expecting it, but like we were kind of like, all right, well, things like this happen, like it's not a big deal.
Stick us on the next
They'll
flight.
just put us on the next flight. However, the next flight is not until 4 p.m.
So 5 a.m.
It's 5 a.m. right now. The next flight's not until 4 p.m. So we stay in the Curacao airport for, what about 12 hours, I guess, that would be. And we go back up at like 4 o'clock to wait for our flight to Bonaire, and then that flight is delayed. So then it's 5 p.m. They're like, it's still delayed. 6 p.m. still delayed. At this point, me and Gabby are like, okay,
we are getting upset.
we're not going to Bonaire.
Shanna and I are getting to the point where we're like, is it worth it to go there for one day and risk not being able to come back to Curacao now with the same issue?
Because if the same issue happens, then we're stuck in Bonaire. At least in Curacao, we're stuck somewhere where Gabby has a lot of family. So we did not end up going to Bonaire. We still have never been to Bonaire, but we will go one day.
Yes, we want to go to Bonaire.
It's gonna happen.
So badly. So this year when we were in Curacao, we actually had another crazy travel experience. We decided that we were gonna go climb the mountain in Curacao, which is called Mount Cristobal, and we've done it before together, and we were like, okay, we're gonna do this again, it's gonna be so fun. And we basically, on our way driving there, we see that the weather is looking a little bit weird, but we're like, oh, it's not really raining, it should be fine. And I decide I'm gonna wear my brand new white Converse to go do this mountain hike, which Shanna immediately was like, that's a horrible idea, and I was like, well, I didn't think about it, and I didn't pack any other shoes, so this is what's happening. And we start hiking up this mountain, and it immediately starts like drizzling, and we're like, uh-oh. And then it starts raining, and we're like, uh-oh. And then it stops raining, and the sun comes out, and then it starts pouring again. It was literally like rain, no rain, rain, no rain, rain, no rain. So Shanna and I are completely drenched from like head to toe. We're like trying to like do whatever we can to be less wet. We're trying to like protect our camera equipment that's in our bags and all of this stuff. We get to the top, the sun comes out. It was like perfect timing. We're able to enjoy being on top of the mountain, the clouds part, and then we decide, wow, this has been great. We're gonna crazy experience, but at least it worked out. We're gonna go climb down this mountain. Everything should be fine now. It's sunny, and immediately starts pouring. And at this point, it has rained so much that it is like a mud slip and slide going the whole way down this mountain. It is like mud pouring everywhere, rain. We have like been wet and dried like 4 different times, and we're, like even I like slipped a bunch of times, and I was like falling in the mud. Shanna was like, I think like at some point you got your butt in the mud too, and we were just like covered in mud. It was just the craziest hiking experience we've ever had.
All right, so those are some of our weird and crazy travel stories. I'm sure we have even more, but we just wanted to share some ones that stood out for you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully it makes you feel better about some of the travel mishaps that you have had, and you can laugh at ours if you want to. We don't care because we laugh at them too.
Some of these are actually like some of our favorite stories that we will tell people about things that have happened to us.
So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe and comment below any future videos you want to see from us, and we will see you in the next one. Bye!